My husband and I told our relatives a few years ago we wanted to buy a country house by the lake. Almost everyone lives in apartments in our country, so our families were very happy. My mother immediately decided that she wanted to arrange a vegetable garden in the yard of this house. My husband's sister said it would be a great place to take her children for the summer. My sister started fantasizing about family picnics. My husband's brother joked that it would be an excellent place to get intoxicated on the weekends. We were both terrified. We didn't want any of this. We wanted to have a place where we could feel truly at home, where we could rest, where we could arrange everything to our taste, where there would be peace and quiet and no family squabbles, where we could raise our future children. Ultimately, we decided to tell them the deal had fallen through and there would be no house. After all, it's not even their business. We were the only ones buying the house, which had nothing to do with them. We didn't have to tell them. We only told the truth to our best friends, whom we were sure would not spoil anything. The house is beautiful, and my friends and I often go there on the weekends. 2 years have passed, and my sister found out about the house by accident because one of my friends posted a photo from there. Now our families are furious and called us greedy. Many of the relatives don't want to talk to us until we give them the address. My mom even asked for spare keys. This is exactly the hype that we tried so hard to avoid. I don't think I'm an idiot, but my husband's starting to hesitate about what we should have done. So, am I the idiot for lying to my family for 2 years that my house purchase deal fell through? I was flabbergasted over your mom planning out a garden and immediately demanding keys to the house. Who are these people that are pole vaulting over boundaries like this? The heck? If your relatives don't want to talk to you until you give them access to the house, that's one problem solved. Don't give them access. They don't talk to you. And that's that. No spare key for your mother. Send them links to lakeside Airbnbs if they want to spend time at a lake or at a house they don't own. They should look into Airbnb houses. Keep your house to yourself. Stand firm, OP. Think of all their plans for a house that's not theirs. Then look at the beautiful home you've created and picture it being ruined by greedy and entitled relatives. That should strengthen your resolve to keep them at arm's length. Not the idiot. And neither is hubby unless he gives in to their demands. Your relatives suck, though. Everyone's the idiot here. Your family, for obvious reasons. As lovely as it is having a place to go to get away from it all and visit family, it's rude to just start making plans for someone else's home. You need to learn to stand up to your family, OP. Lying about having the house was never going to work in the long run. They were going to find out eventually. You could have handled it better. It's wild that you thought it would be better to lie about buying a house rather than having a conversation that sets clear boundaries. I have a parent where it's just easier to lie about anything because he always has a comment or a criticism about everything. I don't know what this person's family is like, but from my perspective, I can almost understand just lying to eliminate all that extra unneeded stress. I mean, is it the best choice? Definitely not, but I get it. OP, if you really wanted to mess with your mom's head and prove the point even further, try this. Give your mom some random keys you have lying around and give her an address that doesn't exist, that's several hours' journey from where she lives. Tell her she can't go without your permission. Then see what happens when she tries to sneak into your place without asking. First, the place won't be there, and she'll be really angry about the wasted journey. She'll know you mess with her, but if she says anything to you, she'll be showing herself up for not respecting your boundaries. She really ought to keep her mouth shut and just swallow, but you can be sure she'd blow up at you because she won't be able to stand for you making a fool of her. Somehow, I doubt you'll do it, but it's fun for you to have in your head as you tell her no. My fiance proposed 3 months ago. It was a beautiful, intimate proposal, and I loved the idea of telling our future kids about his proposal. I was really excited to plan my wedding. I work in the events industry, and this sort of thing is my passion. My fiance has ADHD, and finds planning very boring. His default response is, whatever you want. So I've had full creative freedom, but I am a little sad he didn't contribute to anything, not even the color scheme. My fiance and our friends were talking about the wedding. I was telling them some of my plans to cut costs down, and my friend made a joke that it was a good thing my fiance locked me down because I was a professional. My fiance joked that he didn't lock me down. I locked him down. He said he was trying to enjoy his last days of freedom before I trapped him in the marriage. I felt really upset that he didn't acknowledge my hard work in planning the wedding, and because he joked that I was trapping him into marriage and that I pushed him into getting married, I decided we should call off the wedding for now. He wasn't interested in getting married, and I don't want to marry someone who doesn't enthusiastically want to get married. I talked to my fiance and said I'd call off the wedding plans and we could reevaluate if he wanted to get married or even stay in this relationship. We've yet to send out RSVPs or book to many vendors, so I want to call it off before it becomes a more expensive mistake. He was very upset that I called off the wedding and said that he was just joking. He said it was normal to joke about this. Am I the idiot? Edit. I've talked with him about his lack of enthusiasm. I don't even need him to take the initiative, but an opinion would be nice. He said he doesn't care about the details at all. I let it go after feeling like I was nagging him to have an opinion. The joke made me realize that he probably doesn't want to get married. That's where his lack of enthusiasm comes from. We're early into the wedding planning, and I want to call it off because weddings are expensive, and I'm not sinking more of my money into uncertainty. Figuring out whether he wants to get married will take time, and time is money. I can work with him on figuring that out, but I can't keep a wedding timeline with that. Not the idiot. You're smarter than me. My ex made this joke and I laughed it off. I definitely was the one who got trapped. Run. It's basically negging. This will become boiling the frog and further push your boundaries and sense of self. You're so right about the negging, and notice how he said it right when someone else complimented her. The person essentially said, she's a desirable partner, and what he heard was, she's the desirable one in the relationship. He immediately turned around and said, no, I can be the only desirable one in the relationship. My fiance has ADHD and finds planning very boring. His default response is whatever you want. This is not ADHD. This is laziness and weaponized incompetence. Honey, please don't let him convince you he was just joking. You deserve a life full of love and a partner who contributes meaningfully to that. You deserve a partner who values your contributions and gets excited about your plans. You deserve someone who lifts you up, someone excited to spend the rest of their life with you. A good therapist can help determine if this relationship truly serves your needs or not. Is it a good relationship because you make it work? Trust your gut. We live in different states, and she just started dating this guy, although he's been a part of her friend group since college. This was also the first time I met her boyfriend. This past weekend, I was in a city near hers and called to see if she wanted to meet up. She had plans with her friends, so she invited me to come along, which I did. We had a fun day with the group and eventually went to dinner. Nothing was out of the ordinary until the check came. Her boyfriend took the check, read aloud the amount, and split the bill and tip, which we rounded to $10 a person amongst the table. Then he placed his credit card for the server to take away. Everyone handed him cash for their portion. I guess I gave an off look, so my sister explained that he doesn't like to go to the bank. So whenever the group goes out, he pays with his card, and the group gives him cash. I didn't think about it further, so I handed him my portion. The next day, I couldn't find my prescription sunglasses in my hotel room or rental car, and I knew I had them yesterday. I remembered the last time I took it off was when we went to the restaurant. On my way to lunch with my sister and some people from last night, I stopped by last night's restaurant to ask if they found a pair of sunglasses and was greeted by the same server, but this time she looked angry. The short of it was that I found out my sister's boyfriend had only tipped her $10 for our group of 12 people. I was taken aback because, based on our split, she should have gotten $120 in tips. I asked to see the receipt, and it was $10. I apologized and gave her another $10. When I got to lunch, I immediately asked him to give me back $10. That started the question from the group that descended into an argument until the restaurant asked us to leave. My sister's now mad at me for causing a scene and embarrassing her in front of her friends and the people in the restaurant. Not the idiot. He stole your money and his and their friends. If he does this all the time, then I assume it happens a lot more often. It became an argument because his friends realized he ripped them and the servers off. He even stole from your sister and still had the gall to enter a relationship with her. You didn't embarrass your sister. If she defended him, she embarrassed herself. Yep, and let's be blunt about it. How else does your sister propose to explain it? He paid for the whole bill, including the tip on his card. You have a copy of the receipt to prove that only a $10 tip was paid. The 11 of you each handed over $10 for the tip. So what's their explanation for the other 100? He's stealing. I would guess from your sister's reaction that she knew the full reason why he pays for the whole meal with his card and pockets everyone else's contribution. She probably benefits from the extra spending money. So, for context, I'm a 41-year-old female. I've been married to a wonderful husband for 20 years, and we're still madly in love. Due to mental illness, my husband can't work, so I'm the breadwinner in our family. This works well. I got a high-paying job, don't have overtime, and mostly work from home. My husband is our homemaker, and seriously, he's excellent at it. Last year, I bought us a new house with a big garden. We have quite a high fence around our property, so looking into our house isn't easy. You'd have to stand on your toes and peek over the fence. One of our neighbors, let's call her B, is incredibly nosy. When we moved in, she was the first to show up, not to help, but to gossip about other neighbors and warn us not to trust them too much, and things like that. 2 months ago, my husband's best friend lost his job, together with his wife, who thought that a jobless man who couldn't provide didn't deserve her. The poor guy struggled enormously with bills, divorce, and an upcoming depression. So my husband and I decided to get him out of this situation. We have a spare bedroom that we wanted to turn into a gym room, but the room is still empty. So we offered this room to our friend without asking for rent or any contribution, just to help him to be able to breathe again and focus on the future without having to worry about rent, bills, etc. The divorce is nasty enough. The poor guy doesn't need more stress. It works out well. He's a very nice guy and doesn't demand things from us. He's just happy to have a safe space to heal and get back on his feet. We do things together, but he also stays happily in his room when my husband and I want to be alone. When I was grocery shopping a few days ago, I met some neighbors who gave me weird looks, which confused me. Since I'm not the type to brush things off, I stopped and asked what the problem was. B had been snooping around our house and spreading nasty rumors in the neighborhood that I lived together with 2 men, and the men in my house change. She even called it openly a whorehouse, since she rarely sees me go to work, and my husband never goes to work. She spread in the neighborhood that I must earn my money on my back. Otherwise, I couldn't afford such a nice house. I was livid and told my neighbors on the spot what was the truth, and then I left, too worked up to focus on groceries. Now in the parking lot, I saw B. In my fury and rage, I stormed up to her and started screaming. I told her that whoever I invite into my house is none of her business and to stay the heck away from us. My family is not her concern. If she ever badmouthed me again, that wouldn't go well. Then I simply left, not wanting to hear any word from her. Now some of my friends think I massively overreacted, while others think I was just protecting my family and friends. Gossip can hurt badly too. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. This may just be the New York in me, but I think you did the right thing. Honestly, I can't believe you had the strength to even hold back, because I think what you did was mild. People are too comfortable now to talk about others because there are no consequences, so I'm glad you stood up for your family. The Louisiana in me would have probably punched her in the nose. OP, don't waste this opportunity to mention to any neighbors that she starts all these rumors so no one knows what she's busy doing. Tell them everything she said about each of them. Make it up. Make it outrageous. Turn her into the pariah. You should tell your other neighbors what B told you about them. Make them understand what a two-faced witch that B is. Oh, and if she doesn't stop, get a lawyer. Scare her with a cease and desist letter. And if she keeps it up, sue her for slander. Am I morally obligated to pay back a Parent Plus loan? I had to take out direct student loans for myself, more than $20K. 6 months after I graduated, my mom informed me that there was an additional $20K in Parent Plus loans. I had no idea about that, but had to pay. I was devastated. My mom agreed to pay interest only until I paid off the $20K in my name. I'm now debt-free on paper, but still have this issue of the Parent Plus loan. Here's the thing. I have 2 married siblings, and each received help paying for their wedding, approximately $10K. I'm nearly 30 at this point and gay. I will never receive money for marriage because they disagree with gay marriage being moral. I clearly disagree. I've never been happier since I recently came out. I feel strongly that being gay is not a choice and is morally okay. All of this would be irrelevant, except that I've asked for the money that they've committed to my wedding until recently to be reallocated to these Parent Plus loans, but was told no. They reasoned that a wedding is a fun family activity they can participate in. So that combines with the fact that I had no idea about these loans when they were signed up for. The loans are not in my name, and I know they can pay them off immediately. Makes me feel like I'm no longer obligated. Or at a minimum, I would be okay with paying everything down to $10K, and they can cover the remainder. However, my struggle is that I do recognize this was to pay for my education, and I do have a well-paying career right now because of my degree. While it would be financially challenging for a while, I'd be able to pay it off. So, am I an idiot for refusing to pay Parent Plus loans? Info. I graduated almost 8 years ago and have known about the loan for approximately 7 years. Yes, my siblings also had student loans, but no Parent Plus loan specifically. It's a parent loan that you were never informed of and never consented to. The loan was taken out in your mom's name, and she's financially responsible for it. If she struck a deal with you to take it out for you to get the better rate, and then you pay her back for it, that would be one thing. But that didn't happen. She chose to secretly take out money so she could pay it back. You're not the idiot. Shouldn't the student have been aware that these loans were taken out? The student is billed directly and can access their financial information through the university. They know the total cost of the loans they took out. Student billing is not a black box. None of this should be a mystery or a surprise. Unless their parents did a complete scam and kept the money, that is. Right? They were an additional $20K in loans, but 10 each went to both siblings. I didn't think about it until your comment, but they might have given it away, LOL. OP, I would contact the financial aid department at your school to find out how the funds were dispersed. If there was a Parent Plus loan, it would have gone there first, and any leftover balance would have been sent to your parents as a check. I don't think your wedding stuff or your being gay is particularly relevant to how you should think about this. Update. I will try to find out exactly how the money was used. If it truly went to my education, I would pay it all back. I don't know how it was spent. I will separate the idea of wedding money and the student loans, thanks to everything you've all said here. I think I'm just hurt because they believe I'm immoral or sinful, and so I'm holding the wedding funds against them, wrongfully. Thank you for all.